I'm joined in the studio by none other than the Seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, to take a trip down memory lane and chat about some iconic episodes from the Seventh Doctor's era. I love all of your era of Doctor Who, but there are a couple of standout episodes for me. The first one has to be Remembrance of the Daleks.
Yes, I remember.
And I've got a few questions for you.
Indeed,
and
fire
the first
away.
question is, there's a scene in Remembrance where you and Ace are in a van and you go under a tunnel and then you swap places.
Yeah.
I interviewed Sophie Aldred about this moment and she said that you couldn't see without your glasses.
Exactly, yes.
Could you tell us about filming that?
Well, yes, it was. It was a bit of a thing because the camera was outside, attached to the, the window was wound down, the camera's outside, so it was sticking out, and we were in a tunnel, a little tunnel, going through a tunnel, and as I went through, I kept knocking the camera against the edge of the tunnel, and that was why I couldn't see what was happening.
She said that the cameraman and John Nathan Turner were in the back of the van.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, with the sound man. It was the sound man.
Yeah.
Both of them hidden behind under a black covering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. And of course, in Remembrance of the Daleks, you've got this fantastic scene where you basically stand up for yourself and everyone against Davros, and you've got this amazing speech, the Unlimited Rice Pudding speech.
I know. I love that speech. I wish I had... People thought maybe I didn't improvised the last bit. No, I hadn't. It was in there. The writer, Ben Aronovich, wrote that bit. And everywhere I go now, people keep asking me to do unlimited rice pudding, etc., etc.
Remembrance really marks a turning point for the Doctor, and we see you go from a kind of jolly, clownish Doctor to suddenly, we see a more kind of calculating and manipulative side. Yes. Was that something you enjoyed as an actor?
It was something I desired as an actor as well. I wanted to make him darker. My grandmother lived to be 100. In those days, that was very, very unusual. And she was very compos mentis. And I went to see her. And when I went to see her, she'd lived 100 years. She'd been born during the Crimean War, and she'd been through, there were so many wars she'd lived through. She'd lost people. There was all that longevity. And I remember thinking, my doctor's 950 years old. I've got to bring that back to it. I've got to try and find that. The sadness of losing all those people, the things he'd seen, the people he'd loved and lost, as well as the joy that he'd experienced, And so that was inspired by my granny, who lived to be 103 months.
That's so lovely. And in Remembrance, we have the first time we see a Dalek go up some stairs.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, that was historical. A bit hysterical as well.
Hysterical. What was that like for you to kind of watch on screen afterwards?
Well, actually watching them do it, because this is the Dalek here, and they had two scaffolding poles sticking out of a heavy Dalek. They didn't even get a light Dalek or one made of polystyrene or anything. There was a Dalek, and then behind the wall, there was a kind of these went through the wall, and there was another scaffolding there, and then there was about 10 men on this side holding it and pushing it up. And so this poor Dalek was going up the stairs, wobbling about all over the place. If the Dalek guy had been inside it, he would have thrown up by the time he got to the top. It was very, very kind of I don't know what you call it, lacking in imagination how to get a light. I mean, it was that size and that big, and they were trying to get this poor thing up the stairs, and it was wobbling all over the place.
That's amazing. I didn't realise it had been done in camera like that. Yeah, that's incredible.
It was.
Incredible. Another one of my favourite episodes of your time as the Doctor is Silver Nemesis.
Yes. And
we've got Lady Penfort at there's a point in the episode where she kind of hints that she knows the Doctor's secrets. Yeah. And obviously Andrew Cartmel, the script editor, was kind of laying the groundwork for a much deeper mystery around the Doctor and his origins. How much were you aware of where that was all heading, and were you involved in shaping the mythology of the Doctor?
No, not really. That bit was more Andrew's thing. The idea was that when we were... Because they asked me to do a 4th season. I was booked up for 3, and then I agreed. And so in the 4th season, they were going to drop hints about the fact the Doctor was much more powerful then you could see hints that the idea was that he was maybe one of the triumvirate that created the Gallifreyan Society. But that wasn't going to be shown, it was going to be hinted at. There's more power to this Doctor than meets the eye.
It's certainly, I feel, a seed that was planted in your time, which I feel later was picked up by Chris Chibnall with The Timeless Child and the Doctor's origins and exploring that. What did you make of that when you saw it?
Well, I kind of thought, at long last they told the story. Yeah, it was good to see that they'd done that, and I was a bit disappointed that I didn't do it. That
would have been great.
It would be.
And I think it's interesting, this idea that the Doctor is an orphan and is kind of this kind of, beyond, I suppose, beyond Time Lord society.
Yes.
It does feel like that might be where Andrew Cartmel was headed, perhaps.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love about Silver Nemesis is, and your whole era really, is it's remarkably physical. You're jumping into water, you're ducking from cover from the Cybermen. You do a backwards roly-poly at some point down the hill.
Yes.
With your sort of background in physical comedy, was it something you kind of actively pushed for as the Doctor?
Yes, I mean, we had, there was Tipping, he was, he did all my, he wanted to do all my stunts, but a lovely guy, but he got frustrated with me, and also Sophie. Both of us wanted to do our stunts, and we did as much as possible. Yeah.
It's fantastic, and it's like, it's just so fun. I love the episode for the way a lot of it's filmed on location as well.
Yeah, I like that.
And there's that
too.
incredible castle, which doubles for Windsor Castle.
Yeah, Arundel Castle. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like to film on that, on that amazing location?
Well, it was great. I mean, I remember it being incredibly sunny, and it was really great. And there was a scene which I really loved, which was the coming out of the TARDIS, and in the distance, you can't see it off camera, there's someone, and I look and I said, I know that person. And then Ace comes out and says, oh my God, and pulls me back. And then the Queen walks in with the corgis. I thought that was a wonderful joke.
And lastly, because we covered the Daleks, I'd love to ask what it was like to face off against the Cybermen in this story.
Yes, no, that was good. It was great fun, really. And again, it was, they were iconic enemies of the Doctor. And it was a joy. Sophie, she was very, very enamoured by the Cybermen, because they were all very tall, handsome models.
Oh.
Yes, and so for Sophie, it was a great delight.
That's quite funny. I love their voices that they use as well.
Yeah.
At that point, they're excellent.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been great to be here. Subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel. Just click below.